right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's Monday, but it's Wednesday on Monday because this Wednesday I will be out of town on the road to M3 with two stops in Virginia on the way. So Wednesday was nice enough to come here a couple days early, and we're going to talk about his big appearance at the Sick New World Festival. I was fortunate enough to be there. We're going to talk about what goes into preparing for a show like that, what goes into being at a show like that, and then we'll give you some observations about some of the other things, some of the other bands. I'm not an expert on all these bands, but Wednesday is. And then the following night, I went to see a hot new German band called the Scorpions. I think they're going to be big. And that was great. And we'll talk about that too. Actually, we'll talk about all that and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with you. Here we are, Monday, and a lot to talk about. Let's take a look at some of the comments. Real fast, make sure I can get an idea of what kind of crowd we have today. All right. Oh boy, there's a lot. Hold on. Well, M was the first to say hello to Jason and to hello to Wednesday. And Wednesday's cat says hello, fellow ghouls. And Kendall Lynn letting us know that she drew a ghost for Wednesday, which is always kind. Sorry, I'm watching the Yankee game out of the corner of my eye as well. So, all right. Jason and Wednesday starting the week off with a bang. I promise you this will not be a 4-hour episode. Last time we were here, it was 4 hours. Let's waste some time. And Jaylee, thank you so much for starting things off with the super sticker. We're coming to the end of what Google calls the pay period. And so that's very kind of you. Well, the questions for Wednesday, we'll wait till he gets here. People want to know a lot of drama in Wednesday's world. They want all the answers. They want to know everything. They want to know why Motley Crue sucks so bad. Well, actually, I just added that one. All right. Mistress wants to know how her fellow Girl Scouts are doing tonight. Oh, Ghoul Scouts. I apologize. Is there anywhere I can go buy Ghoul Scout cookies? When I was growing up in New York City, we didn't have Girl Scouts and cookies and all that kind of thing. All right. I mean, I don't know. Let's just bring him in. You guys are asking questions for him. Here, hold on. There's the man of the hour, Wednesday 13.
Hello.
No one knew you owned anything white, and happy to see you mixing it up.
Changing it up. I have a couple of colored t-shirts in my closet. I went with white today. I feel like I'm finally on vacation. That show's over with, and I'm off. I'm kind of on vacation until August when we start touring again. I mean, I got to record and do recording stuff, but so this is sort of like my Hawaiian shirt, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, let's answer some people's questions. Well, you got a new guitar player Wednesday. Is there anything interesting to say about that?
We picked up a really cool guy. This dude Ashes, who I've known for years. He's played in multiple bands, and every time we've ran into each other around town or been on tour with other bands, he was in the band Devil Driver. He was in Pretty Boy Floyd, I think, for a few minutes as well.
Yeah.
And we just became friends. And when it came time to get someone, he was the first person on my thoughts, and I hit him up, and he was into it, loved the band, and it worked out. Unfortunately, my old guitarist Ramon, he and I just after 15 years, he's going to pursue other things, and he's moving to the United Kingdom, which makes band practice even tougher. He was already in Texas, which made it difficult. Now it would be even harder for the UK. So he's just going to do his own thing. He made an Instagram post about it. You could read the the whole thing there, but he's still friendly with the camp. There's no drama or anything like that, and it's
Let me get this straight, Wednesday. Did we just call a guy named Ramon?
we did. Well, that's his name, Ramon. I say Roman because it's easier. Well, it's easier to say, and other people understand it better.
I'm with
But
you.
no, his real name's Ramon. That's how you say it. But most people can't say it. Like I couldn't even say it the first 2 years that I knew him. I just called him Ramon because I love the Ramones, and that's just what I called him. Uh,
Yeah.
but yes, so I go back and forth between the two, like potato and potato.
I just
Uh,
feel like when things are pronounced or when they're written a certain way, and then you say, "Oh no, it's pronounced like this," it sometimes is a little strange. You know what I mean?
yes, yes.
Like, what if someone said, "No, it's Wad's Day," you know, but well, that's not what it's spelled. You know,
You know,
I
that's
don't
why I
know the
went with a
guy.
name that's easy. That's really not really easy to mess up. There's really no other pronunciation of Wednesday. There's just different ways you say it. Now in North Carolina and in Australia, people say my name Wednesday. So in North
Mhm.
Carolina, you go, man, I went to school with Wednesday 13. That's the North Carolina way to say it. The Australian way is Wednesday 13's up next. That's probably terrible too, but it's more like that. So that's really the only way you can do it, but it's not like potato sort of.
Sure. Well, you do. So you do have the new guitar player, Ashay, I believe
Yes,
his name.
a chase is yes, a chase.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway, he was very good, and he is sort of a staple in Los Angeles. Knew a lot of people, and I always say you should think about who you talk to and who you meet, and be polite and all those things. I remember when we went to see Donnie V. Ashes came over to talk to you, and he was very nice, and he introduced himself. There was a lot of other clowns there that were not as nice, most nights at the Whiskey. And so I think sometimes it's smart. You play your cards, and it could turn into a gig. He did a good job. First time playing in front of a rather
yeah,
large audience.
yeah. What a crazy thing! Hey, here's your first gig in front of 10,000 plus people. By the time we played, it was a good crowd for us. We went on at noon. That whole day it was just packed. I mean, it's crazy that happens here. Like, I'm used to those things being in Europe, and I was a part of one Ozfest out here in Los Angeles, but nothing like that. Usually that kind of stuff happens in Europe, so it was really cool to be a part of it, and it was cool.
We're going to talk more about it. We'll get some comments. Brian Kirk, thank you for being a channel member. With Wednesday being on tonight, we should know two things. One, he's going to be amazing entertaining. Two, Jason will battle YouTube tomorrow for his monetization for Wednesday's comments. That is a possibility. I usually win. We're going to be very
All
careful. I've
right,
also learned that.
I'm going to try not to talk about anything controversial dealing with any type of orange juice or any type of space missions. Nothing.
Well, yeah, that's probably for the better. I'm also learning that we have a lot of young people in the audience, especially a lot of Wednesday fans are younger. When I started this show, they said the analytics said that my audience was mostly 65-year-old men, uh, and I didn't believe it. And so I wanted to appeal to different demographics, and now we've done that. So okay, let's just getting through the rest. Some of your people Wednesday, I've got to keep an eye on them. They sometimes get a little
Yeah,
crazy.
they get out of hand sometimes.
They get excitable.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but you guys don't want to get suspended because we're going to have a good conversation, and you're going to learn a lot about what goes into one of these festivals. We'll talk about the German band, the Scorpions, and why they're not in the Rock Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that. And all right, just want to make sure I got the essentials here. Let's see. People very excited to see Wednesday, which is good. I was excited to see Wednesday. That was my
Yeah, that was your first time. Yeah.
first time seeing it. Yeah, yeah, and it was good. It lived up to the height. Okay, this is Rock and Pappy. Jason, I've been out of the loop for a bit. Are you or did you do an episode of you and Steven at the Autorama? Yeah, you. No, I did. I recorded it. It's going to be fantastic. But the rate I'm going, it'll come out probably 2026. People, the last episode, I got sick on the road, and Wednesday can tell you nothing worse than being sick on the road. And
No.
and the episode came out, but it was filmed in November, and so people sending me condolences and well wishes. You can still send gifts and prizes if you like, but I am fine. We're a little behind on the Toward Iris. Jim Gallagher, thank you for being a member, and also make sure to let people know to hit the like button and subscribe. Okay. Here's Sean Brown. Sean Brown, completely generous, and what a great guy. Hello, Jason and Wednesday from New Jersey, where we are currently experiencing July-like weather. The bats are outside. Looking forward to another great episode of Waste Some Time with Jason Green to start the week off right. Well, thank you so much, Sean. He didn't really have, there wasn't a question, just a comment. I'm glad the weather in New Jersey is nice. I will be in the Baltimore, Maryland area this weekend, this Saturday. So feel free to stop by and say hello if you're going to be near me. Now, this is Andrea. Andrea is saying hello to Michelle. And I was fortunate enough to meet Andrea at the Scorpions concert. Her and her family went to the Sick New World. And then the next day they went to the Crazy World, which is Scorpions. And I don't know, but it seemed like the parents went to the Sick New World for Andrea, and then Andrea went to the Scorpions for the parents. But very nice people, and we had a nice conversation. And I did realize that we have a younger audience, and I try to apologize to people's parents, for some of the things that Wednesday says. I, of course, am always at PG-13, but when you get started, oh my goodness, maybe they haven't heard your music.
That's what I tell them. It's not PG-13. It's Wednesday 13. See, it's good. I think I'm going to adjust my camera here, so I feel like I'm too far away. I tried a new thing today. I feel like that's better.
It's better than what Matt does, which is he has 6 feet of headroom over his head.
Yeah, sorry, I had. All right, I feel like that's a little bit better.
I think that looks better.
Yeah, let's see.
Mistress Macabre 13 is 38 years young. Michelle Simon is a Gen Xer. Wednesday's Cat is a 40-plus woman here. So there's people of all ages. Mistress Macabre 13, I've been a fan of Wednesday since I was 16. That's awesome. Yeah, nice. All right. I know people want to talk about Motley Crue. I'll talk about it in a little while. I'll be brief.
My shirt is popular today. I wore white last week. I debuted eyebrows, and now I've got white. I mean, what's going to happen next?
Well, I can tell you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put Joey's forehead in timeout. First one I'm going to do. It's too much. This is Eli's Brains, who is a 13-year-old W13 fan. Nice. It's great that so many young people discover your music and love it. Raymond's 56.
It's awesome because I think back to when I was 13 and what bands I was listening to, and it's all the bands you and I talk about and go see when you come out here. So it's a good time to discover music, because that may be the time of your life of the kind of music you stick with the rest of your life if you're a music fan. Like some people grow out of that, like, oh, I was into this then, but now I'm into blah blah blah. But like you and I, we became lifers to this.
Lifers, and it's even more fun now. Metal Kitty is concerned that I let Sean cuss, but I will not allow Wednesday or so. I don't think the sense of humor is your strong point, Metal Kitty. But all right. Oh, well, thank God somebody decent is here. Ron Jeremy, I love him young and older, Jason. I like the selection. Well, thank you, Ron. As you know, Ron only wakes up to appear on this show, and then he goes back into his casket in the home.
You know,
Lisa,
I was thinking about today, like how it used to be, like all these old songs, and they were all about really young girls, and how
mm-hmm.
that's frowned upon now. Like Kiss, people go, "Oh man, they sing about underage girls and stuff all the time." I'm like, well, so did everybody else. So did it. It's what it was. Get over it. That's my
Mm-hmm.
rant.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
Cinderella, damned. I discovered Wednesday when I was 12, and I'm 31 and love him just the same. You know,
that's.
Wednesday, you don't
Yeah.
look like you're old enough to have been performing for so long, but obviously you are.
You know, it's weird. I played my first concert. I was when I was 15, and I said I'll be 48 in August. So I've been doing it a long time. I started recording music when I was 15, and I've been releasing music since I was 18. Like that's available for people like to get. So all my life, pretty much. It's all I know.
I'm getting this question a lot. People want to know about physical media for some of your older projects. Any
Yes.
possibility that these things could happen?
Absolutely, they could. In fact, I probably have about 4 boxes of Maniac Spider Trash CDs sitting out in my garage underneath other boxes of pumpkins and bats and toys and backdrops and yes,
That
I'm gonna try to
Wednesday,
dig that stuff out on our next tour, so we'll have that available on the table.
have
But
it
as far
on
as
the
releasing
tour.
that music, I would have to probably speak it over with a couple of the dudes in the band and see how they wanted to do it, because they've got all the masters and stuff to that.
I think it's time for us to do one of these live auctions Wednesday, and
Yeah.
people who are watching the show can bid on them while we're watching, and they can see you sign it and things like that. 63, 57, that's more my target demographic.
All right.
Let's see.
It's always so cool. You have like some always 200 to 300 people on your show, and I always think about that when I'm playing shows when like 100 people show up, and I'm like, damn, I could have more people watching me on Jason's show. Why am I playing this show in the middle of Kentucky?
That sometimes is part of this business for sure. You just never know who's going to show up. All right, we kind of went through a lot of the comments, and we've learned that it's an eclectic audience. I like that. So we'll talk a little bit about Sick New World. So for those of you
Yes.
who don't know, Sick New World is a music festival. It's been going on for a few years. I know they did it here in Vegas last year,
Last year was the
and
first year. Yeah, this is the second year.
so this is the second year. I have a feeling there'll be a third year. It was quite a
Will
success.
be. I already know who the headliner is.
Oh, nice. Well, if you guys hit up Wednesday, he might tell you. I mean, privately. He whispered it into
People are
your
gonna
ear.
be they're gonna be surprised who it is. I was actually surprised. Oh, I know two of the bands, two of the main headliners, the two main headliners. One, everyone's gonna be surprised for both of them, but one you'll be like, whoa, okay.
Mm,
I mean,
well,
they could do it. They could do it themselves. I'll put it that way.
mhm. So that's a little tease for those of you. Get your tickets now. Before we get to into the behind the scenes and things and the bands, I want to point out that I live here in Las Vegas, and this festival, it was incredibly difficult to get into. They don't have a parking lot. There's no parking.
Yeah, yeah.
Vegas is infamous for building places that don't have parking.
Hmm.
So
I forgot about this, by the way.
that they didn't have parking. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got there, I was so frustrated. But keep going, I, you're
Well, we're gonna
saying
get
everything.
to it. So I'm a fan of rideshare. I spend most of my life in rideshare, but even when you have this many people doing rideshare, you've got a little bit of a craziness. You know, this is on a corner across from the Sahara Hotel, where Elvis stayed when they filmed Viva Las Vegas, and then it's
Hmm.
right next to the Stratosphere and all these other things.
It's Circus, right?
Circus, which might be one of the oldest on the strip. That's where they filmed Diamonds Are Forever with Sean
Hmm.
Connery. And but usually this is not the greatest part of town. But when you have this festival, it certainly picks up. They were recommending people ride the monorail. No one in this town rides this monorail, but for this event, people were trying. They also had people with rickshaw type devices who would get in the back of this thing and they'll ride you on a bicycle.
Oh,
there was everyone
Rickshaw
trying
sounds like some sort of disease you would get. They go, that guy's
well,
got rickshaws. Don't get close to him.
if you ate bad sushi.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to get to this spot. And Wednesday went on at 12 noon. Now, I'm going to tell you that they estimated 65,000 people were at this festival altogether. When you see the aerial shots, it's insane. And what I notice is I hear people a lot, and maybe they just say this because they're trying to be controversial, but they say the economy is terrible. We've never had a worse economy. And we're in trouble. The world is in trouble. America's in trouble because of the economy. Everyone is broke. The economy. Well, the cheapest ticket to get into Sick New World was $500. Okay, that's
Yeah.
just to get in and sit on asphalt. Now, if you wanted a VIP, that was probably closer to 1,000 or more. This was not cheap. So, I mean, I'm terrible at math, but 65,000 people at a minimum of $500 a piece. Then you could get edamame and vegan pork sliders, whatever you could think of. They will be happy to take your money. And then there's slices of pizza and drinks and all these type of things. But yet I'm supposed to believe that the economy is terrible. I couldn't even walk down the damn Las Vegas Strip. And while you're walking, all you do is see people putting money in the slot machines. And the Scorpions has a sold out residency in the year 2024 or whatever we're at. And I gotta say, something's going on out there.
Lies. A lot of people are lying about it. They're lying.
Someone's lying.
The news is lying.
Because
let's not talk about that. We get flagged.
No, well, we can't be. You can't be too opinionative. Although I saw some of these bands, I can offer an opinion on it. So if 65,000 people paid 500, Lorraine says that's 32.5 million. Well, they didn't all pay 500, so it's even better for them, and it's good for the artists too. I know what Wednesday made. He told me it was very fair. I would never say his fee, but it was very fair. It seems like they took care of the artists. I like to see that. It seemed like an organized festival too, which is also hard.
Very.
I'm coming off the Blue Ridge Festival. Watch my episode about that. You want to see an unorganized festival. Hold on. AZ, thank you so much for the super chat and proving that the economy is just fine. Do you find the gorilla scene in Diamonds Are Forever as racist? I personally do not. But I did a video where I went to all the locations from the movie Diamonds Are Forever, including the crematorium. I went and visited the crematorium and the cemetery where they hide the diamonds. And anyway, and that video will be coming out soon. So, okay, so people made a lot of money. It is also a cashless environment. You must tap if you want to party at one of these festivals. Not a bad thing. And it seemed to go fast. A few of my observations. Kendallin is very sad that Ramaj left the band. I'm sure he'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The band's called Wednesday 13. As long as you have Wednesday 13, you're fine. Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, I'm bummed about it too. I guess I've known for a month now, so the fans just found out last week. So yeah. So I was bummed. I was bummed the first couple weeks too, but things move on. I mean, we got 15 years in between it with Vermont. It was and we didn't end in a bad way. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. So Wednesday and we were going to meet up on Friday. I knew Wednesday wasn't going to meet up. When we have these shows, when Wednesday has these shows, you go into work mode. You got a thing to run, and it's a lot of work. And this one was a little crazy, obviously. And there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So
stuff did go wrong, even on the way there.
Well, tell me about it. What happened?
Well, I mean, basically, we uh we played Saturday, so we wanted to get into town Friday, and we were anticipating, 65,000 people coming in, plus, you know, the regular crowd and for Vegas and everything. So we planned to leave at 9 a.m. from Burbank, and and just drive because we they had a back line there that they were providing, but that's no fun for the guys to get up there and have a bunch of makeshift stuff that they put together. And so we decided it was better just to take our own gear. So we rented a van and a U-Haul and carried our stuff. And I'm so glad we did, because I heard the back line that was there was very minimal, and several bands that were relying on it had to go to other bands and borrow their equipment because it wasn't there. So it would have been a nightmare if we would have had to rely on that. So luckily we had our full set, full drum kit, backline, ego risers, all of that. They allowed us to put our stuff, but either way, so we decided to bring all of our stuff. And from Burbank to Vegas is about 4 hours. And when we got about an hour and a half away from Vegas, there was some major accident on the highway, like an Amazon truck flipped or something, and the traffic was going to be backed up for 4 hours. And the detour took us out of the way, and we were on, not even lying, we were on a single dirt road going through the mountains for almost 2 hours. Or we would have had to wait on the highway for 4 hours. So our ride went from about 4 hours to about 6.5 hours. And then we got into Vegas, and then it was, as you were explaining, Vegas. It was crazy. We pulled into the parking thing. Our van was too tall for the parking thing, so we had to pull out of that. And luckily, we stayed at the, how do you pronounce the hotel we were at?
I think it's called the Fontaine Blue. Fontaine Blue.
See, that's the one. That's one you can have fun with too. You can just make up. So anyway, I'm at the Fontaine Bleu.
Yeah, no,
Something
but
they can,
the Fontaine, Adrian Ballou.
yes,
It's new, and if people wonder where bands stay, Wednesday stays at the highest quality. This is a brand new place. They got one in Miami. Very, very, very ritzy,
yes.
and but it's
Little too
very
ritzy for me, but it was right beside of the festival where we could walk, because we didn't want to have to get Ubers, because that would have been a nightmare. So we stayed there because it was right there. And luckily, the festival people were great. They allowed us to park the van and trailer on site there, which is just a couple of blocks away from the hotel. And so we didn't have any trouble with parking. We were so close, we could walk to and from the festival without taxis or Ubers or anything. And it was great. I mean, I didn't have anything to complain about at all. It was super easy for me. We had a dressing room, an air conditioned trailer all day long, from the time we got there till the festival ended. They had catering for us. They had a rider for us. They had it was awesome. Everything went according to plan. I brought some techs with us. We had a front of house engineer. Everybody did their job, and we went out and did it. It was over with so quick. It was just like, out of all the, I don't want to say trouble, but all the prep for it, the rehearsal and getting the van and getting the trailer and parking it. Because I do all this stuff here at my house when we do little one-offs like that. So, uh, just to go and do all that to play for 29 minutes is, you just go, wow, that's a lot of work to do that. But when you see an audience that big and that reaction, and it makes it worth it.
Lorraine had a good question. Do you put the makeup on in the hotel, or do you put the makeup on at the venue?
I did mine at the festival on the trailer because I didn't have to set anything up on stage. All my guys went there and set the back line up. Our drummer was so rushed, he literally had time to come back to the dressing room. He was panicking, and he had maybe 10 minutes to throw his makeup on and jump on a golf cart and go back to the stage. I was already dressed, dancing around the dressing room to Little Richard and everything on my players. So I wasn't stressed at all. I was just going through the songs in my head and what I might possibly say to the audience. And uh, so, yeah, it was a little rushed for him, but he was a pro. He didn't get mad. I've yet to see him get mad. Knock on wood. He's been in the band for
That's
almost
great.
2 years and he did not flip out. We had a killer show.
That's great, and that's all very hard to find. Michelle Simon enjoys the Wednesday 13 umbrella. You'll be able to get one of those umbrellas very soon if you go to
Very, very soon.
officialwednesday13.com and you'll own one. And who doesn't want to have an I love to say the F word?
Yeah, it just looks cool, even if you don't even know. You're just walking, you're like, whoa.
Mhm. All right.
There's going to be two versions. There's going to be a spider web one that just has the logo on it. That's not the middle finger. And then if you're an offensive type person, go for the middle finger.
Yes, I think you.
Yeah.
I think you should. A lot of the younger people watching, they can't afford to go to these concerts. Kendall Lynn would like to go to a concert. She would like you to take her. So would Em. I would be happy to take you guys to see the Backstreet Boys. If you like, they were playing against the Sick New World Festival.
Oh, no.
Just down the street. I like the Backstreet Boys compared to some of the bands that were playing at Sick New World, but I'm very much a novice. Wednesday is the new metal, heavy metal, alt goth, shock expert.
Yes. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of all the bands, and it's just like being in prisons. You gotta know all the different gangs, or you might get cut, you might get stabbed. So I gotta know every band, whether I like them or not. I gotta know a little bit about them. I want to know their history, even if I don't. I know stuff about bands, about the members that I don't know anything about their music. I'm like, oh well, that guy went to jail. Never heard his band, but I ain't gonna mess with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I like. Is there going to be a YouTube of the concert? I'm sure someone put it out. I have some clips that I shot that I will put out, but I think if you look it up, you probably find most of it. It was a
Yeah,
very
there's
short
there's
set.
already some online of. I mean, if you were making a list of the band that looks like they got the most views when you search Sick New World, there's no doubt Slipknot was the main attraction for everybody video, because there's just thousands of Slipknot videos from that now. But yeah, there's a couple of our show, and most of the bands if you check it out. But there's no pro shot anything that I've seen, even though there were cameras there.
Right. Yeah. So you went on at noon. They run these things tight. I knew you would be on time. They don't screw around. You're
Yeah.
on what I call a Lazy Susan stage, which is just like
It's
the
very
one that.
cool. It was cool how it worked.
Yeah, I'll be seeing that in Maryland this week. The M3 Music Festival does the same thing. So one band is setting up on the other side. It's a round stage, and then it will turn, and you
Yeah.
start playing. And
It was
it's
great. I got to go set my own water out, my towel, my set list, put everything where I knew it would be instead of hoping the new guy we had did it right. I was
mhm.
able to adjust all my little ego right. It's really cool when you're able to do that and not be seen. And
It's rare.
yeah, and they told us, they were like, just be sure you're done on time, because in the past when there's bands not done, they'll start spinning that stage.
Hmm.
And I was like, don't tell me that, because I'll work it into the set where it's like well,
Right
folks,
off.
we'll see you next time. Doop, 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 doop.
Hmm.
When we'd have played it right on the beat.
Yeah, you'll they'll play us off. It does seem like it might be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we left very early. I would never get up in the heat for anyone but you Wednesday and your
Yeah.
band. It was crazy, but not the worst heat day, but it did warm up pretty
It did.
fast.
It did get a little hot, but I honestly stayed in that trailer, and I had a couple of hours of like interviews I did, and a couple of my friends came over, and we just sat and talked. So I didn't go out too much. I definitely didn't have time to go out into the audience, and I was back at the hotel, and I met you by what, 7:30, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'll give you like a little bit more of a recap, at least on my end, and then we'll see your end. So we got there. we took a ride share to the Sahara Hotel, walked across the street, and then you walk in a sea of people. I said to Michelle, I said, I think there's going to be a lot of people wearing jean shorts and cut off T-shirts with backpacks with water because this is an outdoor festival. She thought that people would goth it up a little bit. I will say that it was a melting pot of people. There was girls wearing nothing but thongs, buttholes on display,
Lots
um,
of flesh.
lots of flesh. I think it's nice though in some ways the people because it looked like people were safe. It looks like girls were going in groups. And never once did I feel like I was at Limp Bizkit Woodstock.
No,
There was
no, it
girls
wasn't.
in groups.
It wasn't hard on the eyes there. It was pretty. It was a pretty audience.
A pretty audience. And I look, guys too, guys and girls, whatever you're into, there were some good looking people and there were some
Yeah.
people making a fashion statement, which I like to see. I went to see The Cure. I see The Cure every time they play. I see them 3, 4 times each tour. And I was so disappointed that people don't really dress up for it. And because tickets are so expensive, you get like these very rich Cure fans. Where's all the girls in the cool golf clothing with the crazy makeup? That's kind of the fun of the band. Sometimes you see it, but it's not what it should be. But Sick New World, there was a lot of people dressed or undressed, as the case
Yeah.
may be, to impress. So it wasn't
Lots of
hard on me.
makeup. Lots of makeup.
Lots of makeup. Yeah, lots of makeup. And so, and I'm admitted I'm an older person, elderly, if you will. But I don't understand all of the different things that are going on. Some of it was above and beyond for me, but it was
Hmm.
nice to see young people having a good time. Didn't seem like people were fighting. Seemed like a well-behaved crowd. It seemed like people all there to have a good time, which is nice. But when you get there, they have like 50 different checkpoints. So we Wednesday was nice enough to leave us, the VIP pass, which is probably worth like $20,000. But you still have to go through an ID check, and what they do is they pen you off like cattle, and then you go through. But then no one actually even checked the ID, which was weird. And so they let 100 people go, then you stop, and then 100 people go, you stop, and then you have to scan. The new way that these festivals is that you wear your you wear your pass. Your backstage pass is a bracelet, and you tap it. Most
Yeah.
festivals are converting to that. You can't get it off, so it's hard to trade. Although I have very feminine wrists, and I was able to pull mine off. I could have traded with everybody.
They
No.
kept telling me I had to wear it, and I said no. I said when I put on my stage clothes, you're not going to see it. Like I can't do this. So I somehow finagled it onto my belt, wallet, chain thing. So
Yeah, you're an artist, and it interferes with your show.
yeah, they didn't
So
really care. They just one person was like, "Well, you got to." I went, "No, I don't." And he goes, "Okay."
yeah, that's usually the amount of the security at these
Yeah, yeah,
things. I gave it a shot. So when we got there, we were Wednesday was in the middle of a show. We could hear it as we were making our long journey to the stage, and I got some great pictures and video that I put on my Instagram. If you haven't followed my Instagram, by the way, Wednesday has 27 million Instagram followers. I have like 11. Go to it's in links in the description, JSIN_green, and you can take a look at some of that stuff and other things and keep up with what we're doing on this channel. So anyway, it was great, and I said hello to you after. I got some video of you guys coming off the stage,
yeah.
and
I
then
think I
went.
walked right to you off the stage.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, and you were in good spirits, which is great, and happy about the performance. That's not easy doing the show that you do at 12 noon,
No,
but it
and
was
the
good, and the
sun
people
was
were packed.
right on me. I started thinking about it. First chorus of this first song, I went, "Uh oh, the sun's on," and I come out like I wear a leather jacket over a denim vest that's studded up too, over a shirt, over a fishnet. So I'm pretty layered up with the sun like right on me. Plus I'm hopping to the beat of the song and doing kicks and headbanging
Mhm.
and singing. So I came out a little, and it's hard to come out and control your energy at the very beginning when you see a crowd like that, because literally when I go make some noise and you just hear this almost an echo, there's so many people, you're like, uh-oh, I got to go for it. But I remember I got to pace myself. So on that first chorus, my brain said, cool down, take it easy, don't blow
Pace
it.
yourself.
Yeah, it's like Mick from Rocky going, take it easy, kid, don't do it, don't blow your load, kid, don't do
Mhm,
it, take it
mhm,
easy. I'm just like, all right, Mick, all right. So
mhm. Yeah, you're lucky you didn't need him to cut you. Um,
I've been like that before. I'm like, cut my eye, Mick. It's been that
so
way.
So Wednesday went to do some press, and then I told Michelle, let's go check out some of these bands. Let's try to make the best of it. Let's be festival goers. Let's blend in. I'm wearing a fake leather jacket, by the way. It was 10,000 degrees. But I'm like, I go, let's blend in with the kids. Let's be cool. And now these kids, by the way, they walk around drinking liquid death. That's the
Ugh.
cool. It's
Water in a
water,
can.
but it looks like everyone's walking around with a 40.
That's
You
why
know,
it's just cool for people to do that. They feel cool about it, but I don't like it. It's like
yeah, but what
pizza in
if
a cup. I'm more for that idea.
I haven't seen pizza in a cup?
Pizza in a
Is that?
cup was on the jerk.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, I
yeah.
thought it was supposed something that was really at the festival. Yeah, I, the thing with it though is you might go up to a young lady and think she's drinking a 40, so you would assume she's of age. One of the things I thought the most about this festival, the one is that how great Wednesday 13 was, but two was there was a lot of underage buttholes walking around and drinking these
Lots.
liquid death 40s. And I would, if I was a young single gentleman at this festival, I would be checking ID. I would be checking ID
Check an
because
ID, but think all the drinks you could buy. I'm like, yo, can I buy you a drink? It's just buying them a water. It's cheaper than a beer.
that
So
is true. People were
yeah,
saying the prices were awful. I personally didn't think they were as bad as they could be. They also have the water filling station, which is good. The festival should all have that. So once you finish your can of liquid death,
you can fill it up.
you can fill it up, and so those are pluses. So we decided that we were going to go watch whatever we could. But I mean, I never heard of most of these bands. Uh, uh, the band that was playing on the other side of you seemed like it was similar to the Trans Siberian Orchestra. Maybe I don't know. I was confused by what I was watching, but that's
Yes.
okay. I won't judge. Um, but then, so I try to go with what Michelle knew, or we basically we split up the ages, what I know and what she knew. So she said we should check out Ice Nine Kills, and I hear
Yes.
everybody talk about that band, yourself included. And
Uh-huh.
so I said, well, let's go see it. And I had no idea they all wore bow ties, and they looked like Weezer. It was like a heavy metal Weezer. The songs were good, that what I saw, but the crowd was so insane to get to that side. There's two stages side by side, the red and the gold, and it was so crazy that I just couldn't think of any way to enjoy watching this. They weren't my favorite band. I don't know any songs anyway, but it was so crowded. And as it gets hotter, you're standing on a lot of cement. And so I didn't. So then I said, let's go try one of these other bands. So we try to watch Fear Factory. When I was
Yes.
young, I used to go visit my girlfriend in Brooklyn, and then I would take the subway home back to Manhattan. It was about an hour ride, and she would say, "Hey, you want to take some cassettes home to listen to?" That's what we did back then, when we had the Walkman. And
Hmm.
so I remember she gave me the Fear Factory cassette, whatever the big album was, and I kind of liked it. It wasn't really necessarily my thing, but I kind of liked it. And so on stage, the singer said, "Welcome to the new era of Fear Factory." And that's when I said, I think we're watching Bobby Blotzer's Fear Factory, because whenever someone says it's a new era, it's usually fake. But I had to ask you, is this the original singer? And you said it is not.
No.
Yeah.
Uh, Dino, the guitarist of that band,
Mhm.
is he's like the leader guy. He runs the show. And to give Dino credit, Fear Factor, as you said, you had it on a Walkman. That sound, that drum sound, that guitar playing, and his picking style is, that dude is like, he's another level of player. Kind of created something I don't think he really even gets credit for. That, I mean, and they're better than most of those new metal bands. I think I like Fear Factory a lot. But over the years, it became just him and the front guy. Then they had interchangeable drummers here and bass players, and that's just been a constant thing. And then most recently, those two guys had a falling out, and he sort of went out on this sort of what Journey did, looking for a guy that could sound just like the original dude. And their new singer is an Italian guy who used to do Fear Factory covers online, sort of like Eric Gronwall did of Skid Row,
Mhm.
and they sort of found him like that. Um, so yeah, it's Dino's thing, and he's kept it alive, and it's still really, really good and sounds really good. But it's not, if you're following from the original beginning of that band, it's not the same guys. But sound wise, it's top notch.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed a little bit of it, and then I popped over. I wanted to watch Baby Metal just and I have the Baby Metal Funko Pops here. They're kind of
Yeah.
collectible. I should have brought them and got them signed, but I didn't see them. I didn't make my way over there. But you met the Baby Metal ladies, right?
Yeah, we we went to it was cool because catering wasn't like your normal, like what I've been used to, which is like a big tent with, cooks giving out stuff, and it's a buffet sort of deal. This year they had like 4 food trucks backstage, which was
Mhm.
pretty awesome. So I went and got, went to one of the food trucks, got some food, and then they had a really cool coffee stand that was making everything all day, like all the different types of coffees and teas. So I went for like my fourth coffee and was waiting in line to get my coffee, and our new guitarist saw Baby Metal and runs over or walks over and just starts talking to him. And I'm like, "You know them?" He goes, "Yeah, I met them before." And he started talking to him, and he introduced them to me, and they were super cool, and they wanted to take a photo, and it was cool. They were hanging out backstage. They were literally just sitting on the ground. They had like Brady Bunch carpet set out backstage where all the trailers were, and they were just hanging out. They have like a little entourage of people that hang out with them. It was like they have a makeup person that travels with them, and but I guess the reason they were hanging out is because they went on stage with one of the headliners, maybe that Bring Me the Horizon band later that night, and did a song with them.
Did
So
you
that's why
think?
they were hanging out. Yeah,
Did you ever think about the FMK game with the Baby Metal chicks?
I am now.
Yeah, I
That's terrible thoughts. I don't think we can think that way.
well, they're of age. I mean, they're old ladies at this point.
Are they?
They
Why are they
gotta
called
be.
why aren't they called just metal then? If they're over the
Well, one of
baby age.
them's name is Mo Metal,
Mo Mo metal.
spelled. It sounds like I'm joking, but no, she. Well,
Is Mo
M-O.
Larry, next you're gonna tell me it's Larry and then Curly.
No, that would be good.
That'd be great.
No,
And Shimp.
uh,
Ah.
there's wow. It looks like there's a bunch of them. I wonder if they change them out.
I think they're switching them out. Yeah, that's what I think.
It looks like there might be this might be Bobby Blotzer's Baby Metal. Uh, these if so there's a Sue Metal, and
Okay.
she has been in the band since 2010. Okay,
Okay. So
she
she's at
does
least 14.
she does careful. She
Yeah,
does
well,
she does vocals and dance.
okay.
Then there's my favorite Mo Metal, and spelled MOA Metal. Her real name
Okay.
is Moa. I hate to say it wrong, but Kikuchi, and she scream and dance, and she's been in the band since 2010. Now's where we get to the fakes. Momo Metal,
Oh, here they come.
real name Momoko Osaki. She does scream and dance, but she joined in 2023. She was previously an Avenger, which is the backup dancers. So they promoted her from backup to Maine, but I didn't need to
Interesting.
bring all three of my Funko Pops apparently, since
Yeah.
only two were there.
Huh.
Yuri Metal, which she was an original member, but she parted in 2018, and then Mikio Fujioka, she was in the Kami band. Their band is called Kami, Kami. Sadly, she passed away in 2018.
What?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, you
And
know what I'm smelling with this band.
sushi,
Same
sushi.
same
Yeah.
thing happened with everything. Happened in the Cosby Show. It happened in Different Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
When the cuteness wears off, you got to bring a new one
Menudo.
in, and then here comes Little Sam, from Different Strokes. Or whenever Rudy wasn't cute enough, and they brought in that other little girl. I don't even know
Mm-hmm.
who her name was, but you know what I'm talking about from the
Yes,
Cosby's.
yes. I can't think of it right now, but
But she
Raven
was
Simone.
cute. But
Raven Simone.
yes, there you. That's right.
Yeah.
And then she went
So
on to That's So Raven.
she did. She had a big career. So these broads are between 24 and 26, is what I've learned.
You should
That's
have met
critical.
them and said, "Hey, it's really nice to meet you, broads."
Mhm. Yeah, and
They
I would have
love they
asked,
love that.
yeah, and then I would have asked them if they knew where I could get some Japanese food. Uh,
Yes.
do you guys know where the Japanese food truck is? But anyway, but so they're younger than I thought. They've been
Yeah.
around for a little while, and I listen. I'm not an expert, but it's cool that you got to meet them.
Yeah,
And
they seem fun, and their show is fun, and the band behind them's cool. It's just, I mean, I can't help but think of the Powerpuff Girls when I watch them,
yeah,
and they remind me of Japan, and I love Japan. So I just, again, I'm entertained if I was watching it. I just can't find myself having a hard day and going, man, I need to put on some baby metal to relax. I don't think that would ever happen.
yeah, I know. I tend to agree, but I thought it would have been something funny to see. It's something to talk about on the show, but it wasn't meant to be. And so then I watched a little bit of Powerman 5000. I enjoy it. I don't think you have to even know their songs.
No,
All you
they're
got to know
good.
how to do is to jump. If you can
Yeah, and
jump,
they've got cool songs. Uh, our guitarist Jack works for them whenever we're not touring and stuff, and he's did like two full tours with them, and we were just talking about them the other night, and I was like, man, they're really good because that's my first time seeing them besides the rainbow thing. And he said that they never ever fuck up. He's never ever watched. They've never fucked up. Like even our band will mess up on something or hit a wrong note or
mhm.
wrong something somewhere the way we start. But he's like I've never heard them mess up once ever. So that's pretty cool. And they're not a track. I mean, they do have tracks and stuff going, but it's a full band playing.
Yeah, and well, then tracks are part of that music. I mean, that's
Yeah,
part of the
it's the
sound.
keyboards and all the programming and all that stuff, but all the guitar and bass and drums you hear are them.
Yeah, I'm going to address some of this in a minute, but anyway, they were good and they're fun, and it's Rob Zombie's brother. For those of you who don't know,
Yes.
Spider, the singer, is Rob Zombie's brother. And anyway, and a talented guy in his own right. I actually think I might like Power Man 5000 more than Rob Zombie. How about that? I said it.
Yeah,
I
yes.
said
I
it.
mean, they've got their one album, the one that's platinum, is. I mean, there really isn't a. There's a couple of okay songs, but for the most part, it's pretty solid.
I bet you Spider can make a better Halloween movie than his brother.
He has a movie out. If either it's out or coming out, but he has a horror movie.
Wow,
Yeah,
runs in a
yeah.
family.
I don't know. Somebody look it up. I'm sure they'll hear about it because he's posted about it. I think it's him and his wife are involved in it, and
Oh
apparently he's
no,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gonna have his
But
wife
but
and
not like that. I don't think she's in the movie. I don't think he's pulling a trying to be
I
like
got
his brother or anything.
right. All right, hold on. Sean Brown Jason, like you, if I had not heard of Ice Nine Kills, but then I saw them live in Philly and enjoyed them, they are heavily influenced by 80s horror movies. They are currently supporting Metallica in the US stadiums. Listen, I've heard a lot about it. I hear they're popular. Wednesday's told me about it. Sean Clark has told me about it. He has members of Ice Nine Kills interviewing people at his conventions. Wednesday, I got to tell you, here I am making a living interviewing people, and then you get the guy from Ice Nine Kills interviewing people. I don't go out and try to play metal music. You know, maybe they should don't try to be Phil Donahue. You know, leave it to the pro. But anyway, they seem like
the front guy of that band has his own horror convention in Massachusetts. I think it's sort of taken over what Rock and Shock used to be. He started a couple of years ago, and it's huge. Just because he gets good people on it, but his band and his fame from that brings a lot of people into it. I don't listen to them, but like I appreciate that they're doing something that's super theatrical, it's horror based, and they're not doing what every other band does and try to do the Misfits. I mean, that is the most beat to death scenario. And I tell people all the time, they go, "Oh, you must love the Misfits." I go, I never listened to them before I ever wrote any of that Murder Dolls music or anything. Like the Misfits are okay to me. I take Danzig solo music any day over the Misfits for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to hear about, and neither one of us saw it. Sleep Token. Sleep Token is the thing. If the kids are looking for something, you probably already know about it. Sleep Token is supposed to be sort of like Ghost-esque, right? Like they wear masks and things.
If I had to explain it, and I'm not like a scholar on them, again, like I said, I try to pay attention, read up on who's up and coming, and they've been a buzz for a while, and they just started blowing up last May was when I started hearing about them and checked them out. I remember being on tour and like, I'm gonna check this band out, and I didn't even know what they looked like. I just listened to it, and I don't even know how to explain it. I know it's very singy. It's almost choir like. Then it gets heavy, and it's like super heavy. Like you could mosh to it, and then it stops, and then it's almost like a choir or something. It's very singable. It's dark. It's unique, and they look cool too. I mean, it is mask. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, ghosts wear masks and stuff too, but it's not like them. It's done a different way. It almost feels like you're kind of watching sort of like a ritual or something. Almost like you're at a weird church. Like if you took the seance from, say, Eyes Wide Shut or whatever movie and put a band with it. That's what it kind of feels like. It's creepy, it's eerie, and I see where the kids get it. And I don't know, it's entertaining. You don't know who they are, which makes it a mystery too.
It's great. They're from London, and they formed in 2016. And yeah, they've got a cool look. I think that Ghost was great when it was anonymous, much like when people thought professional wrestling was real. Sometimes when you break the story, the kayfabe, if you will, it's not. Once we all found out Tobias Forge was Ghost, it was exciting, but I think it took away a little bit of the mystery and the stories, and and his former members suing him. Last night, who's Chris Catalyst? Who's that?
I know the name. Where would I know the name from?
We saw his name come up with some band last night. Someone introduced. Oh, he was in Ugly Kid Joe last night.
Okay.
And Michelle said that he is one of the members of Ghost. I think she said he was Ether.
Okay.
I don't know. But because when Ghost first started, they weren't allowed to sign their own autographs. They had stamps of their symbol. Their guitar picks had their symbol, fire, water, whatever, Ether.
Right.
And those guys sued Tobias Forge, claiming that they had more to do with it than he let on or paid them. He showed them, by the way. I think every band should make the other guys wear masks. And listen, you mouth off.
They started a new band that's actually doing pretty decent, or not. I won't say decent. Yes,
Yeah, please.
they've came through and play with a bunch of bands, and now they've kind of got a buzz about them, and it's kind of interesting too. It's nowhere like Ghost, but it's visual. It's definitely more in the electronic KMFDM type kind of world.
Hmm. Yeah, I listen. I find it interesting, and I thank you for having me out to see your band, but also to get a little bit idea. To put my fingers on the pulse of underage liquid death drinkers. I mean, the bands. It was
Somebody
interesting.
somebody says Chris Catalyst played with Ginger Wildheart. So okay, well,
Okay, so
that's points.
yeah, he's from the UK. Well, now he's playing with Ugly Kid Joe. Take a few of those points,
Yes.
and
uh,
uh, well, we'll get to that. But so Michelle and I said, I think we need to get the hell out of here. We were only really interested in seeing you, and then if we had to see something else, Danny Elfman. We were interested in Danny Elfman.
I
Other
watched
than
Danny
that,
Elfman from my hotel room. I could see him from my window. I could see the big screens from there. I couldn't really hear what he was playing though, but I could see it.
well, we saw him from your parking lot in your hotel,
Yeah.
um, but we couldn't wait that long to see him. And then, would I have watched a little Slipknot? Sure, I would have watched a little bit if I was there. It's not my thing, but I would have watched it to say I was part of something. And then on the other stage, System of a Down, which I do sort of like.
I liked them a lot. Yeah.
I think they got good songs, and we watched a little bit of that driving home. So we got out, and we let you, get back to normal life for a little while, and we came back to the Fontaine Bleu,
The
and
Fontaine, yes.
and when we got there, I said, "That's Tim Burton." I could hear it right away. He was playing Weird Science, and after Weird Science was the theme from Batman. Like, hold on. Update on the baseball game. Wait a second. Wednesday. I know you've been. No, Yankees are still losing. All right.
No.
So
Losers.
yeah, it's they're
Yeah.
playing Baltimore too. Anyway, but it was fun to hear a little bit. Then you and I, and we went and we ate. I looked at my credit card bill the other day, and I said, "What the hell is Shay's Bon Bon? What?"
That was Cher's son.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
And Michelle reminded me that we had some kind of
Chaz Bonbon is where we ate
Chaz
at. That's what I
bonbon.
called it.
Mhm.
It's a coffee.
Yeah, Chaz. I tried to explain Chaz to a few people, younger people, maybe Michelle, who just didn't realize that Sonny and Cher had a daughter, and she was in the act, and she decided, to become a man. Chaz. Her name was Chastity. She became Chaz. She took the
Uh,
chastity thing a little serious because I think she cut her wiener off.
she
Um,
did.
yeah. Hey, listen,
It's
not
hard
that
for me to think of Cher having any other children besides Rocky Dennis. It's just for me, I don't ever want to think beyond that. That's her son, and that will always be her son for me.
well, Cher has three sons: Chaz, Rocky Dennis,
And
and Elijah Blue, who is
Elijah Blue. I mean,
Fred Allman.
what a great three children to have.
Hmm.
That's a TV show. I'd watch
Maybe
it.
maybe one of those bands at that festival should get a Rocky Dennis mask, and call the band Mask.
I would be into it.
Yeah,
That's
I
just a
know
good
you.
idea. Something's going to happen with him. You're going to see. I think someone's going to jump on the Rocky Dennis bandwagon. It's going to be around a lot more than we think. Just like you see Leatherface stuff everywhere. It's like, oh, well, now finally Rocky Dennis stuff is everywhere.
My Three Sons remake with Cher. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
my three sons.
Um, but we anyway we had a nice meal, and you ate a little adventurous.
Oh, did I? What did I
Not for
have?
me, for what I expected. You didn't order your own food. Yeah, you're a big star.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you had assistance in what you had, but you had some kind of chicken strips, and it looked like it had some kind of sauce on it.
The sauce was a questionable color, but after coming back from Europe, I'm finding out some of these sauces. Less I know about them, I'll just try them, and if it's good, I'll just go with it. It's
Hmm.
not, but I knew it was a hot sauce. So, and it was good. I don't even know what the name of the place was that we ate at, but it was decent because I didn't have anything that day because I woke up that morning at 6:30 because we had to be at loading our gear in at 9 a.m. for that show. So I literally had like a protein bar and some almonds, and then that was my meal for for the day. So
Yeah.
I was ready to eat.
Well, yeah, and I had some kind of hot honey sauce, which was terrible for my blood sugar. But the guy
Uh,
recommended it, and he said it was very important, and that I have it. How could I refuse? All right, let's see here. Um, and then when we were leaving, we heard some System of the Down from the parking lot. The traffic and the hordes of people, it was so crazy. I think it was sort of nice that you were able to sort of escape, you
Yeah, I
know.
didn't I didn't see any of that. After we left with you from you guys, I went up to my room and I could hear System of a Down. I could actually tell the songs they were playing that's how loud it was to the hotel. I was like, "Oh, well that's that song." And I was like singing along to it. I was like, "Oh, listen to this." And we were actually singing cuz we knew the songs. But yeah, it was chill for me. I didn't have to deal with anything. I got out of the festival, no problem, no one stopping me, nothing. It was easy, an easy thing. And we left at 7 a.m. the following day, and we hit no traffic at all. We were home by
Oh,
noon.
great. That is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mistress Macabre asks a question. This is a game that we commonly play called Would Wednesday Eat That? I can
Oh yeah.
usually answer for Wednesday in these
Yes.
questions. And to this one, the answer is no. Wednesday would not eat this.
Yes.
Mistress Macabre said, will Wednesday eat stuffed peppers? Because that's what I'm making for dinner tonight. You can
What
tell
is
me.
what's stuffed in them?
Well, if you knew, you wouldn't want to eat it. But
Now,
usually
see,
a
I
stuffed
like
pepper.
peppers. I do like red peppers and green peppers if they're like fried, and I do eat those. So if you put chicken in, what can you stuff in those things? I'm learning about food. I just found out what a burrito was 2 weeks ago.
People don't believe it. People who watch the show think this is some kind of act. No,
I
he
think
did
it's an
not know.
act. It's not a good act, but it's
So a stuffed pepper traditionally is a red or green pepper.
like a
You
big
cut
one,
the
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you cut the top off. You keep the pepper intact. You scoop it like a pumpkin, and
Okay.
then it's usually filled with ground beef that's in like a tomato sauce.
Mm. No, not no. But what else? You could put other stuff in there. What if you just had what if you just threw like some chicken and
What about ground turkey? She's offering.
I like turkey too. Well, what? Yeah, put some other. Why's it got to be ground? Why can't it be just like pulled? Or can it be?
I mean, you might be able to market your own thing, but I don't think it's the tomato sauce that I don't think you would
We
like.
don't. We don't need that. Why don't you just make it like peppers and get like hot sauce? Like let's make it hot. Let's.
Well, someone else said that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I feel like I could create something. I do like peppers though. I like to. I do enjoy them. I
Yeah.
like I
Well,
like chicken skewers with like peppers on them. I'm into that. So maybe we make a bowl and put a bunch of stuff in it that I like. Maybe it's like some fruity pebbles. Maybe you know,
yeah, that could be
replace the tomato sauce with fruity pebbles.
Wednesday. We don't. I don't like to talk too much off the air because why should we give it away
Uh,
when people can pay to watch this? Wednesday cooking channel on YouTube. It would be better if it was Wednesday with the chef introducing him to new ideas. Oh, hold on, Rebel from the waist down. Thank you for
Oh
the 666. Any updates on Manson? How are things going? I'm stoked to see him. I have said that Wednesday is one of the only people who's heard the album, right? That's
yes,
fair to say?
I've
I think
heard
it
it a
is.
couple times.
Yeah. Tell us what's the latest that you can say.
I can't say much other
Yeah.
than he's in amazing spirits. He's in the best shape I've seen since I've known him. He looks like Manson from 20 years ago. He's motivated. He's excited. He's got a he's got killer new music, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong that have already kind of maybe written him off or something. He's a big deal. I looked on like Spotify today to see how many listeners Marilyn Manson has, and it's insane. It's like, I don't know, 6.8 million or something like that. He's not forgotten about, if you look at it on terms people that still listen to his music. So he's still got something to prove, and even more so now after all the stuff that happened to him. So I'm excited for him, and hopefully I can catch one of these shows, or better yet, hopefully he'll give us some shows and we can do some shows together, because that would be fun. We have a lot of the same fans too. So
Yeah, would be great. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of his. I appreciate what he does. I dated a lot of people who loved his music. I've seen him live multiple times, but I don't like to see people get canceled in this ridiculous society. If he's not guilty of a crime, then I find it hard to say that you need to cancel him. And some of these, I would never blame a victim. That wouldn't be cool. But I haven't really heard much of a credible story against him. And I feel like some of these young women, Evan Rachel Wood, if you didn't know Marilyn Manson, you didn't read his book, you didn't know what he was about, you didn't hear the stories, and she dated Mickey Rourke, from what I heard, before him. I mean,
yeah.
this whole thing, it seemed strange to me. And I think a lot of times people have what's called buyer's remorse, and all of a sudden, maybe the guy's a jerk. Maybe in his private life, his romantic life, maybe he's a character. But there's plenty of women, Rose McGowan included, who say plenty of nice things about him. I'd like to see him make a big comeback and stick it to everybody.
I think it's going to happen. And all these people that talk shit on him are going to pretend they didn't and just move on. And I hope he's made a list and goes after them. That's what I hope. But I don't think he's in that kind of revengeful mood. I think he's just new era, and people will see. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and again, no criminal charges. You,
No.
you can dislike people all you like, and don't get me wrong. If you found something on the guy, I would say, oh, well, screw him. But no one found anything, and I would like to see him. I think he's going to play it quiet. Someone says I'd like to see his first interview. I think he's going to be pretty quiet for a while. I think the reason he's on the Five Finger Death Punch tour is to let someone else be the headliner. It's great. It's good for me or for you, because I I would be out of there before you could say Five Finger Death Punch.
He
I
just
would.
announced some solo shows today in
Oh,
between
good.
those shows today too. So yeah, it's just gonna
Good.
there's gonna be more and more dates. People are gonna he'll be back, and the world needs Manson, as far as I'm concerned. I'm excited to see him back on his game, because he absolutely is.
Yeah, I think so too. So all right. So that's the Manson. Oh, Sean Clark is here. Hold on.
Oh,
Sean says Manson's looking good, no longer like a bloated Nick Cage. Yes,
I
he is.
hung out with him and Nick Cage at the same time. I didn't see the resemblance as much, but I can see where people say that. But it was it was fun to be a fly on the wall and watch those two talk. That was probably one of my favorite memories, because I was just sitting there in awe, going, "I can't believe Nick Cage is sitting in front of me." Because Raising Arizona is another one of my all-time favorite movies. Everything else Nick Cage after that was to me.
Thank you, that metal guy. Wednesday, I'm off like almost all of June, and we are going to sit down. I was saying I hate to talk in private, but we're going to sit down and we're going to find some dates. And we're going to book
Okay,
some flights to Texas, and we're going to go to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre barbecue. And Sean's
I
welcome
should
to come
try to
with me.
hook it up with the hitchhiker from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because he's a fan of the band, and he was out of town last time we went through Dallas, and he's wanted to come through. So I wonder if there's any way to meet that guy, if we can meet him there,
Hmm.
because I wrote a new song for my new album. I've been talking about it. One of my little phrases that I stole from him was the I have this knife that he does in Chainsaw One, and that was a little thing Joey and I used to do. And one of our last conversations we had was we were quoting that movie, and Joey said we should write that song, and I went, yes, next record. And that was literally our last text from one another. So I'm like, I have to write that song. So I wrote the song already. And my idea is to get the hitchhiker to do dialogue over it instead of trying to get audio from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, unless Sean Clark can help me get the rights because he probably knows who to ask from that.
You might.
But yeah, I would like to get him to do some audio on it. Yeah, just for fun. I think that would be a cool thing for me
Yeah.
and for Joey as well. It's like it sort of ties the room together.
Well, I will also say that I want to mention this, and then we'll get back to this. Is that it was Joey Jordison's birthday? He would have been 49 years old the day. It's crazy to think how young he was. The
Yeah,
day before the festival, and you did
on Friday.
celebrate Joey's memory, which was great. Slipknot happened to be playing on that day. I know there's some fans who have rivalries and things like that, but obviously Joey, a massive part of that band, he was number one.
And they
Um,
didn't. Apparently, they didn't say anything about him. But System of a Down's guitar player dedicated a song to Joey.
wow, how cool!
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's very cool to hear. Sean points out that he's buddies with the owner of the gas station, aka the barbecue place. So that's good. Uh,
okay,
that's a we're getting closer.
we're getting
And
closer.
he said he also knows the right holders. So Sean is the guy
Okay.
for these things. But so anyway, that's coming up. We're gonna do that soon. And then Universal Studios Hollywood, we are gonna go and see what in the world would Wednesday eat. Sean will be up to come with us for that. Also,
Yes.
have you ever been to Six Flags Magic Mountain Wednesday?
I think we talked about. Is that where?
To where they filmed Kiss Meets the Phantom, but
I
Sean
don't know
told
if
me they
I.
tore the
I don't
stage
think
down.
I've been. I don't think I've been there. I went to Not Scary Farms.
I've done that one, yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
that's what I thought I went to, but no, I haven't been to. I'm not a roller coaster guy. I get pretty scared, even like on
I'm not a
little
big
stuff.
roller coaster guy, but Michelle has no interest in going, and she said, "Well, you and your friend Sean could have a nice time." And Sean pointed out that his girlfriend would be happy for him to be out of the house as well. So I want to see at the end of National Lampoon's Vacation when
Oh
they get
yeah,
arrested, they all have their hands up there in front of this wall. It's still there. It's like an archway, and it's still there. And even Sean said there's a good chance it could get torn down because that's what's happening. It's a mere. It serves no purpose. It's just there, and if you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is. And it's such a great scene in the movie. The line, "How would you feel if you got to Florida and it was closed?" And he points out they don't close Florida,
yeah.
and she says, "Well, I don't mean the state of
It'd be cool to go
Florida."
there. My dad actually has. We still. It's been in the house since I was a kid. We have that exact BB gun that he went and bought, the little 45 with
Really?
yeah, it's exact model. That's why I always thought it was funny. I was like, I've got that gun right here. So I'll put a little price tag on it when we go there, and I can see if I
Yeah,
can
you
get
gotta
through
have the price
security
tag.
with
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it could cause a real bad flesh wound. Break the skin. Uh,
Sorry,
uh,
folks. Park's closed.
yeah, the voice of that of Marty Moose. Sorry, folks, parks closed. That is Harold Ramis, and Harold Ramis of who directed the movie, but also Ghostbusters fame. Obviously, it recently passed a few years back, but he is the voice. Sean Clark, they see you there peacocking. That's Sean Clark has been accused by a former Michael Myers, only 12 seconds of peacocking. That's a new term that the kids are using. Sean
Peacocking.
is the man. Sean is the man, and okay.
Joey's forehead, I guess, is out of. Did you get her out of lockup? But I'll answer her question. She wants to know. Did I not like Manson at first? When you watch old Frankenstein drag queen videos, we're talking shit on Manson on stage. We probably did because we were like we loved wrestling and we loved being like the Ric Flair Hill. You know, we were that type of person. We talked shit on everybody. We were like, oh yeah, Marilyn Manson, yeah. He
Mhm.
hasn't got the lipstick that we got. We're better looking and blah, blah, blah. And it was all about, so it was nothing personal. It was just, that's just what we did. So,
Yeah,
uh,
well, that's also part of the professional wrestling kind of attitude. You attack
yeah.
who's successful and try to make a name for yourself.
I even said on stage at Sick New World, we're the best dressed band at the whole festival. I said that on stage. That could be
Mhm.
challenging, but I think we were.
You didn't have bow ties, but
Nope, nope. We
back.
had safety
I think
pins, and our hair looked really good. Our new guitar player, I looked at his hair. I'm like, man, we might have to get a herbal essence endorsement or something. I don't know. Something's
well,
happening.
listen, if you want to talk about hair products, on the last episode, people thought I was joking when
Mhm.
I asked Wednesday what he uses in his hair. And he told me, and I wrote it down, and I went out and I purchased it. I'm $100 lighter now. But
Yes,
I used it today for the first time.
and
It's called Just the 10 of Us shampoo.
just the 10 of us. It's made from the TV show, The
Mhm.
Daughters.
Yeah,
Yes, made it.
shampoo and conditioner. And listen. This is the first time, but I am enjoying it. It feels luxurious, and
Yeah, it's a hair mask actually, so it treats all your dead ends, all that stuff. But it can be used as a daily conditioner if you want to use it daily. You can use it once a week, twice a week if you want to. I don't wash my hair every day, so I
you
use it
know,
every time I wash my hair. So, but I think it's awesome, and it's got heat protectant in it, so you don't have to put any extra. Well, no, the conditioner stuff. Did you buy the spray stuff I told you about too?
no, I think I think I
Okay, the
forgot
spray
about it.
stuff is the other stuff that's good. I use two different
The
things.
spray one is to leave in.
Yes, it's like it's called it's a like I know what I'm talking about. This is what I kind of know about it. It's called it's a 10 because it's got 10 different things inside of it. So it's got a heat
Oh,
protectant, it's got all this stuff, blah blah blah. So you don't have to keep doing different stuff for your hair because if you use a flat iron on your hair like I do to get it
right.
straight, you need to have a heat protectant and that spray has it. So I use the
That's what.
conditioner, the shampoo,
Yeah,
and the heat protectant.
that's what Michelle pointed out to me, that I need the heat protectant. So we went to Ulta, and I
Hmm.
usually get antsy in Ulta, but I was good this time, I think. Sean Clark is stuck in the Apple store right now. He's currently sitting in the Apple store because his girlfriend spilled a full glass of water on my laptop on our flight to Calgary. A full glass. Yeah.
Well, that happens on those airplane seats. They're getting shady these days. There was on the way to Europe, me and my bass player was sitting outside of each other, and we had like a little cup, and it wouldn't even hold it. I'm like, what? So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those kind of things. Or she could have just really been clumsy. I don't know.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, is Wednesday's hair naturally curly? The answer is yes. He told us that last time. Wednesday would be blonde and curly. Uh,
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little curly.
my hair would be curly as well. It wouldn't be blonde anymore. I mean, I hate to say it, my hair would be pretty gray these days. I've done my share of living, and
I
my
hate
scalp.
seeing my hair curly because it reminds me of curly fries, and then I get hungry.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love curly fries.
Speaking of curly, we were talking about baby metal earlier, and I told you that one of them's name was Mo. It
Yeah,
might be Moa, but whatever. But don't
yeah.
you think that now that they're changing members, they should call the new one Shemp or
That's
like?
what I was thinking. And then
Mhm.
what if Moa leaves and starts her group Moa's Ark?
Wow, now you're really.
See, I should be
You should have got their digits.
hit me up. If I could be like a PR person. I can come up with ideas for your band. I come up with band names all the time just for fun.
Mhm.
So if you're ever in need, hit me up. I'll sell you a band name.
Sean said he was in the bathroom when the laptop was on his seat. He didn't see it happen.
Oh
Sean, is there
no.
any chance that she wanted revenge and she just poured all the water right onto? Probably not.
What you
Um,
need to do as a hack is put a shower cap on your laptop.
At all times?
Well, maybe just like, for an extra protectant. I did it one time and it actually fit on there.
Interesting.
I don't know why. It just looked stupid, but I was like, at least I won't get any water on it as I walk across the parking lot.
In the title of this video, I said we're going to talk about Sick New World and we're going to talk about the Scorpions. So I want to make sure I talk a little bit about the Scorpions. Saturday was Sick New World. Sunday was the Scorpions. Even though the economy allegedly is terrible, it was packed. I didn't know what to expect. I've seen the Scorpions a million times, the same as I've seen the Rolling Stones. And I always go, this is the time they're going to get old and suck. The Scorpions did not. It was great. I thank Mickey D for having me out as his guest.
He sounds great with them too, by the way.
He's incredible.
I feel like he gave them a couple more years. Not that James Kotak was a bad drummer, but Mickey D I don't know. He can turn water into wine. I thought he was great with Motorhead too.
He was great with Motorhead. He's a great guy. He was great with King Diamond.
Yeah.
As well. He's a really nice guy, Swedish. He's Greek Swedish, and he was nice enough to have us out. And and we have an interview on the channel with him that was really very popular. 35,000 people have watched it, and so anyway, he was nice enough to have us, and we saw Chris Jericho. I like to call out the different people that we see there. He's a wrestler, maybe an actor. He's a singer. Sebastian Bach says he lip syncs. I don't know, but some of my friends know him mutually. I didn't need to say hello, but so he left us nice tickets behind the soundboard. Usually when you're on a guest list, they like to put you behind the soundboard. They believe that that is the best sound and the best view of the full stage. They're kind of right. But I still want to be right in it. I want to be right in the middle of the screaming loud people. It was interesting because Mickey told me I'm going to have my tour manager call you, and he's going to straighten it out. I go, okay. So 2 days go by. I forgot about this. And I told Michelle, I'm getting these phone calls from Germany. And she goes, it's obviously spam. It's a spam call. I go, yeah, I guess. And I go, wait a second. I'm dealing with the Scorpions. This is the Scorpions are calling me from Germany. And I told her I was about to start hiding, to be honest. I was going to get under the bed. Not every day Germany calls me. And so anyway, it worked out. I told her we're going. And I said, whatever you do, don't mention the war. And fortunately, the war didn't come up. But we got there. We got there early. I was tempting to just go right before the Scorpions and leave the second they were done. But I you know what? Something came over me, and I decided I wanted to hang out. And I got like a $50 souvenir cup for Diet Coke, which I brought home with me. And now, anytime I go there, I'm going to bring this cup with me and refill it for the rest of my life. But Ugly Kid Joe opened with the Neighbor song, and then they played some other songs. They kind of hop around in the Powerman vein, a lot of that. And then they played the Cats.
They usually sound pretty good, right? They sound like the records.
It was good. Sound like the records. Was heavy. They played the Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin, and then they played I Hate Everything. They played the Ace of Spades. And then I Hate Everything About You. It was entertaining. I don't think they were the best choice. I think that that's a band that most people don't remember. There's a retro thing going on. A lot of the young ladies in the chat are getting into metal bands. I don't think they're getting into Ugly Kid Joe. They like the 80s. And I think the Scorpions would have fit better with the 80s. I like Ugly Kid Joe. And I've worked with Whit before. He sang with Sin City Sinners. And Stephen Pearcy would have been better. That's not just a bias thing because of me. I just think that RATT would have went better with Scorpions than Harry Chapin. But what do I know? So I saw, but then I met Andrea, who's in the comments. I hope she's still here. I met Andrea and her family. As I said, they went to see Sick New World. It's great that there's this little community. I was trying to remember that word the other day. But we all kind of, we have our different shows. Sean Clark's channel Malfunction and my channel and Wednesday's music, and he'll have a channel too. It was it's great to see people. Anyway, it was great to meet you, Andrea, and she agrees with me, which is very kind of you. And Andrea, I'm guessing you discovered me through Wednesday, is my guess. Um, Sean makes the point. Ugly Kid Joe was a full-on bro band, and it was very bro on that stage. I just don't think it really fit. Someone told me that the Scorpions may have the same management or something like that. But I think you needed someone who was a little more fun. Another time I saw the Scorpions, the Residency before it, they had Queensryche, which was also, you know, not for me. But the Scorpions, they played the Love at First Sting album, not in order. They played a little of this, a little of that. But it was great. It was great to hear. They opened with Coming Home. It was great to hear different songs. I'm Leaving You, stuff that they don't play all the time. And great light show, amazing sound. You know, they all wear in-ears, so the stage is empty. A lot of room on that stage. Klaus has a monitor in front of him that I believe is lyrics, which is fine. I mean, these are songs from a record 40 years ago.
It's just
But
hard to remember lyrics. It doesn't matter if they're 20, 30 years ago. It's just hard sometimes. I wish I had a fucking monitor that fed me lyrics all the time, because I can't tell you how many songs I've came out and sang the second verse first and sing the same line on it's just, and I feel stupid, so nothing wrong with these guys. It happens to young, old, or any of us.
yeah, 100%. So you can tell that they were really singing and really playing, and it was enjoyable. The only song they didn't play that I think people would have liked to hear is they didn't play "No One Like You." For some reason, they skipped that one. But
Really?
yeah, I was kind of shocked. It's one of their bigger hits.
Huh.
But they played the Zoo, and they played Blackout and Bad Boys Running Wild. Obviously, they played Rock You Like a Hurricane, Still Loving You, and like I said, all the songs off of Love at First Sting. If you can see it, there's only 2 more shows. I do recommend seeing it. I always think, how much longer are these bands going to be around? The guys in the Scorpions, Rudolph and Klaus, are both going to turn 76 this year. Matthias is a little younger. But so anyway, I think it was great. It was great. I normally would not say, if I thought it was average, I wouldn't have said anything. But it really was good and really worth seeing and fun. It was really a fun vibe. I tell people, don't judge shows on cell phone videos. It means nothing. What you're hearing, a lot of these idiots film their cell phone videos over someone's monitor. So all you're hearing is that person's monitor mix. They might not have anything in it. It's just not great. And some of these bands, you go, oh man, that's not even the real lineup. But you know what? Get in a nice big arena or a big theater and hear it. And you know what? Close your eyes and you're having a good time. And you're having an experience that you and myself and Sean and some of the older people watching grew up having, that experience of going to a concert when the lights go down and hearing real live rock and roll. And in this case, songs with hooks that you can sing for days. Maybe I'm old, but at Sick New World, I just didn't hear a Desmond Child chorus in many bands.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. But so I recommend it, and everybody should see it. Taken by Force, then Blackout, his favorites. It was exciting, and I recommend. Like I said, 2 more shows. Klaus still sounds great, and a lot of people are agreeing. And it's nice to meet the people who watch the show. Andrea's had enough. But it's nice to meet people in person and put the face to the chat name, if you will. Okay, so I think we recapped. I mean, people probably wanted to hear more exciting things, but I think we recapped. Here is that metal guy who's been a member for 12 months. I like when they show that on the memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you, that metal guy. Wednesday 13, how did you get into the Plasmatics, and how would you rate Wendy O. Williams as a front person. He said front man. I said person.
Front woman. I love the Plasmatics. I don't really know how I got into them exactly. I'd heard about them. I think I saw photos of them before I heard them, like most bands. Um, I think I read Alice Cooper talk about their New Hope for the Wretched album being one of his favorites, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check it out. Um, but I think one of my friends back home, we were talking about Gigi Allen last week, and I mentioned that band Anti-Scene. The front guy of that band was and is still a good friend of mine. He told me more about the Plasmatics and gave me a lot of bootleg video, like a lot of stuff you could find on YouTube now just by searching. That stuff was hard to find back then, and this dude had everything. And he gave me some Plasmatics videos, and it was almost like as changing to me as seeing like Alice Cooper for the first time. I mean, they were blowing up cars on stage. I never seen anything like this. And then
Mm-hmm.
she's half naked, and it was it was insane. They had a black bass player who was wearing a Klan hood almost. It didn't. I don't know. It was just a lot to take in, and you got a 6'5" guy and a 2'2" with a mohawk hopping around. So yeah, I was hooked on all the visual of it. Music wise, I loved it too. Wendy O. Williams. It's sad her story that she took her life because knowing now, seeing that there's a band called Butcher Babies, which are is from their song, she would be flagged as a hero now. You know what I mean? She could be touring as much as any other band from that era and probably doing well because she was like Joan Jett of that era.
Mm-hmm. Who could shoot ping pong balls from her vagina? Um,
That's
I
talented.
Yeah, my cousin was a little older than me, and he was into metal and monsters. He had Fangoria pinups on his walls, like they were naked chicks,
Yeah.
Evil Dead and stuff like that. And he got me. Him and I went to see Reform School Girls in the movie theater, and starring Wendy O.
Yeah.
Williams.
She had the razor blade toothbrush, right? On
Yeah,
that
oh yeah.
movie. Yeah, yeah.
And I sort of got my first taste of plasmatics. I had Jean Beauvoir on the show, interesting guy. And Christopher Carroll asks, "Is the color off, or am I sunburned?" Unless he means Wednesday, but I am definitely sunburned. The color could be off too, but I suffered in the sun for Wednesday. But anyway, I should have, and I'm a skin cancer survivor, and I still didn't wear any sunscreen, and I'll probably
I'm
be better.
wearing white today, so if I'm a little red, it's
That
probably
might be
just
it.
that's probably just it. I don't know. I did stand out in the sun for a little bit talking with my friend a little longer than I wanted to, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get burned. So if I'm a little red, it's just matching my neck finally. Oh,
Mm. All right. So I think that answered your question. I know a lot of people want to ask about the Motley Crue song. You probably came to the wrong place with me, at least, because I don't think Motley Crue's had a good album since 1983. Uh, like my thing with Motley Crue is the Leather album, Too Fast for Love, the Shadow of the Devil album, which I like better than the
yeah,
Leather album. And then Theater of Pain was when I kind of probably discovered them most my age. At the time, I thought they were badass. Listening back to that record, I think there's 2 or 3 good songs. Vince Neil says that record's terrible. He couldn't even tell you the songs on it. Girls, Girls,
yeah,
Girls was kind of the same thing. Uh,
yeah. I think it's worse than Theater of Pain, but the singles are the best. And Home Sweet Home is such a good song; it almost
yeah,
makes up for that whole album being terrible. It's that good of a memorable song of the '80s. Like probably
it's
one of the
great.
best.
Yeah, and it's still good. And I like some of the weird ones like Louder Than Hell. I liked
Yeah.
Motley Crue being kind of corny and singing that kind of stuff. That was kind of what was good to me. I agree with you. Girls was a step down, and then Doctor Feelgood, when it came out, I sort of liked it. Now it's almost unlistenable to me.
That was my first The first arena concert was Dr. Feelgood.
Who
Uh,
opened? Faster Pussycat? Or?
no, Warrant
No,
opened.
that's good.
Yeah, and they were in their all white outfits too.
Hmm.
It was great, and I had that cassette at the time, so I loved it. But like for Motley Crue, with the exception of the first two albums, I can listen to them all the way through on every song.
Yeah.
I like every song. After that, it became kind of every other song or the singles or whatever. Uh, and they'll tell you the same thing probably because that's what their set list consists of. They never even played half the songs on those other records. Uh, and as far as this new song goes, if what we think about it, is it good? Is it bad? It sounds like what Motley Crue's been doing for the last 10 years. They've been putting music out. And somebody said, oh, well, it's not Mick Mars, it's John Five. Well, I got news for you. It hadn't been Mick Mars for the last 10 years you've been hearing music anyway. So
The correct answer is it's not DJ Ashba who actually played all those songs.
it's just people listen with their eyes too much. And it's just, are we going to ever get Shout at the Devil again? Probably no, we're not. But they're still making music. It makes them happy. Some people don't realize what it's like to be in a band and be forced to only play songs you wrote that long ago. I mean, it's great that people like it, but if you can write one new song that makes you feel young and cool again, put it out. If no one likes it, who cares? It's a good thing for bands, it's a good therapy for them to create new music and feel relevant. Other than, well, we could play Home Sweet Home again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a try. It's not for everybody, but they seem stoked about it. There's one cool riff in the song,
Hmm.
uh, and it's good production, but whatever. It's
Well,
Motley
Wednesday
Crue.
is a lot more optimistic than I am, and he's
Yeah.
saying nicer things than I'm going to say. And I have to see Vince Neil several times a year.
I think
Uh,
he sounds great on it. I think he's the best part
sure,
of the song.
we'll address that. John Five does a good job keeping the crew sound. Now, that's not my words. That I thank you for being a member, but I got to tell you, I announced that John Five joined Motley Crue. The first place anyone ever heard it was here. I heard it from an inside person who knew. I,
Yeah.
I, I,
I knew it for a long time as well
yeah.
too. And then when you said it, I was like, oh, he knows.
Hmm. And I waited too long to say it because I didn't want to give up. I don't want to spoil it, but then I realized who cares. And then I told Stevie, why don't you run this story? It's true. And then I
Yeah.
said, all right, let me do it. But so I thought John Five would be a good choice. I thought that he would stick to the songs. He wouldn't overplay. He would save the cup of noodles for his own show. Uh, I
And he
was
does.
wrong. I
Well,
was
from
wrong.
what I've seen, I look like he didn't really shred and tear the
No,
original
on
solos up.
he played the Mick solos in the Mick way. That I agree. But
Mhm.
him and Nikki Sixx follow the leader on stage or spin around right around the Rosie. They chase each
Uh,
other in circles. It looks stupid. You shouldn't be allowed to
really,
have.
really.
Oh, it's so stupid. You
I
shouldn't
didn't
be
know
able
they
to have.
did that.
Well, and they just and Nikki Sixx has time because he's not really playing the bass. They and that's a fact. But they and then I don't like blonde people in Motley Crue. Vince Neil is the only blonde. Now I know I'm being petty here, but I listened to the new song and I do think the new song is AI generated. I do. I do not think that those four bozos got in a room and wrote a song. No, I don't think they wrote a song, and I don't think they all played together. I think it was phoned in. And AI is such a new term and thing that uh, I can't guarantee what it even means. But I think that yeah, I think that that song's bullshit. I think that there's no way that and yeah, I think John Five probably recorded everything he can, but he does have to show you how fast he can sweep and how much he can noodle because he can't just stick to a song, you know. And I know that Wednesday can't say this because you're probably friends with him, but I know that he's a guitar god to people. I've seen his show; it's entertaining for a little while. He likes the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I like the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I worked with him at a couple events, and he was always nice enough. The song stinks. It stinks. There's no chorus to that song. And if I'm taking the Mick Mars song with, I think it's Jacoby from Papa Roach, is that the band he's in?
Yes.
That song, while it's a little hip, I think it's better than this Motley Crue song. It has a chorus.
I didn't even hear that one. He put one out with Jacob. I didn't know that.
I think that was the first one they put out. Someone in the crowd might know. And but I don't think the Motley Crue is doing this because they're trying to put out the catchiest song. I think that they wanted to put out something and try to show, look what we can do. I don't think I personally don't need new records anymore. By the way, Wednesday's got a new album he's working on this year, and you should listen to that. And I have a record coming out of all the songs I wrote, but my songs are old though. But in the case of this Motley Crue song, is it going to start no, everyone hates it. It's 99% hated. The country has never been less divided. To say that
honestly, I haven't even read the comments on it. This is just conversation I've had with my band in the van when we listen to it, and you and I talking about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't 100% would bet money there's no AI generated anything with that song. When I first heard it, the riff started, it reminded me of something that John would have wrote, like a demo. It sounds like his demo kind of stuff that I've heard him do for Rob Zombie and his solo stuff. Whether everybody played on it, Vince is definitely on it. And
Sure.
I remember John 5 telling me 4 or 5 years ago when I was on tour with his solo band somewhere in Michigan or something, and he had just finished recording something with Motley Crue, and he and I were backstage, and I was like, "How was that?" And he was complimenting Vince Neil so much. He goes, "Man, I know he gets a bad rap for being on stage." He goes, "But in the studio," he goes, "he is perfect." He goes, "He can sing every note that you tell him."
Mm-hmm.
And that was from John 5 before he was ever in the band.
John 5 is a liar.
And telling me the stuff. So we'll see. I don't know why he would have to lie to me about Vince Neil hitting every note. Like, because I'm looking at him like, are you kidding me? But that's what he said.
He hit every note. It just wasn't in order. He just goes through all of it.
Now it's possible they chopped it all up too, and stuff. I don't know, but he was very. He seemed like that was the one thing when I was like, "How was it in the studio?" He didn't want to talk about anybody. That was the main thing he talked about. Almost like he was shocked, is what I'm kind of getting at. Like, he's really good. So I don't know.
How long has his hearing been so bad? Anyway, Ken says Tommy will be my second favorite drummer. Who's your first favorite drummer? I try not to talk bad because we do shows with Vince. He's always been nice to me. All the Motley guys, I suppose, I've met have been very nice. And I don't say that they shouldn't be out there doing it. They should. I'm Team Mick too, but everyone can do what they want. I think DJ Ashba would have been better. I think DJ Ashba is more Mick Mars-esque than John 5. And I think DJ kind of has a thing to him too that people like. He's a nice guy. But I'm not trying to say that these guys shouldn't make money. I'm not trying to say that you people shouldn't listen to it or buy it or support it. And I do always feel bad when someone tried to trick Steven into saying bad things about Vince. And Steven took the hook, and then it was all over the place. And we felt bad because we play shows with Vince. If we're going to say that somebody sucks, it's Vince's drummer Zoltan jumping all over the place like a orangutan. He sucks. I'm going to be in so much trouble. I shouldn't say any of this. I don't think Dana watches. He's the only one who would. No, that wasn't right.
But yeah, I don't know how Motley's going to pull this song off live. I saw them talking about, hey, we just rehearsed new song. It's going to be great. I'm just like, all right. Just like that Saints of Los Angeles song, which I think is an okay song. Way better than this song for sure, as far as just when it comes to like instantly, like the chorus of that song was at least catchy. But when they play it live, there's so much track going on, and Vince Neil can't keep up with it. It's
I
yeah,
saw them
Motley
in
Crue has had an
Vegas.
interesting history to be as big as they are and to have as many. Yeah, it's
I saw
yeah.
them in Vegas at one of the residencies, and they played the Saints of Los Angeles song. And Nikki goes, I got laryngitis. I'm sorry I can't talk." And then they get to the chorus of that song, and he's on that mic, and there are 50 voices coming out. Well, Tommy doesn't sing, Mick doesn't sing, he barely stood.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all of a sudden, his voice came back. It was a miracle. Um, but you know, all these things about whether they use tracks and things. Of course
Oh
they do.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
true. I
always
mean,
and they have for a long time.
yeah. And the Saints of Los Angeles, written by DJ Ashba, by the way. I don't know who else has a credit, but that's what I've heard. Okay, let's take a look.
Again, I just don't know what people are expect out of Motley Crue at this age in their career.
Yes,
Just enjoy it. If you don't like their new stuff, don't listen to it. It's
right. But it
yeah,
gives us something fun to chat
it
about.
does. It does give us something. But again, like I said, I don't know. It's not AI generated. I'd bet money on it. But is it tweaked and auto tuned and everything else? Oh yeah, it is. It is produced and polished and slicked as possible.
I'm not
And
ruling out.
I think that's what makes it bad is the slickness of it. It's just a little too unnatural.
I'm not ruling out the AI as much as Wednesday is. I'm not positive, but I am going to investigate. I will launch a full investigation. I
But I
think
also don't know what's possible with AI
that's how
because I'm
I
not as
feel.
knowledge with it. So I don't know.
That's how I feel too. I'm just not exactly sure. I don't think that the song was created and it's not Vince singing or anything like that. But do
Right.
I think that they got away with some stuff? Possibly. As far as Motley Crue's big hits, how much, if any, do you think Bob Rock produced to the sound and success of the band's albums? I've only seen 6 a.m. live, and they were meh. Well, Bob Rock, I don't know which the first record he produced is. I think Dr. Feelgood, he had a lot to do with them.
Oh yeah, and he had a lot to do with Metallica's Black Album. That's his two albums,
He
and
played bass
everything
on both of them, I bet.
and everything he's did after that has paled in comparison. Whether he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, he's did a lot of good records for people, and then he's did stuff like Saint Anger that people would probably almost ruined his career.
Fear
So
30 Lacrosse says, have you heard of the band Fear of God? That's a question for you.
Fear of God. I feel like I've heard of Fear of God. I know Lamb of God. I know God Forbid. Fear of God. Um, Possibly. I don't
Yeah.
know. Sounds like it could be a bunch of bands called Fear of God. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or are they asking me if I have a fear of God?
No, I don't think so.
I,
That would be a boring topic. All right, I'm trying to catch up with these, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Uh, have I interviewed Ashba yet? Once in a blue moon, I'll text him, and he says he'll get around to it. And I'm sure at some point he will. I see him all the time in town. He's very nice,
he
and
was nice to he was nice to Murder Dolls when we played when he was in Guns N' Roses. We toured with them for 2 weeks in Europe, and the whole band was awesome to us.
DJ Ashba was ahead of the game on sort of being an influencer, if you will. He had these web stores where he would sell every bullshit item you could think of. Welcome to Ashba Land mouse pads. But he was nobody. I mean, he'd been in like the Bullet Boys, and eventually he was in Beautiful Creatures, but that doesn't mean much either. But he was just putting his name on stuff. And I remember one night we were at the Rainbow, and it was me and Brent Muscat, and he came over. He was talking, and he was very nice, but he was still hadn't made it. And Brent said, "If I'm the most famous person here, let's get out of here." I agreed, and we left. And I said, "Boy, that DJ just will stand around the Rainbow and talk to everybody. There's guys who do that. There's guys there right now waiting to be recognized." And I
Hmm.
thought it was strange, but as as DJ started getting his breaks, I was happy for him because he couldn't have been a nicer guy. And I will tell you that I did a lot of charity events where DJ was the first person to donate financially, items, memorabilia, tickets, whatever it was. Not even looking for the credit. You know, it wasn't like, oh, now, by the way, make sure you credit me. No, he was always a cool guy. So I like him. And I don't know what he's doing now. He's doing some instrumental thing in Vegas or something. I'm not sure. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what he's doing. Somebody will pick him up. He's too good of a guitarist, and I'm sure
sad,
something will.
sad news. They say DJ's wife is smoking hot. Sadly, they are no longer together.
Oh no, he's gonna have a hard time finding somebody else, I bet.
Yeah, poor guy, right? Let's feel bad for him. He's already got somebody. I met her. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, DJ's about 4'8". Well, that might be, but none of those. All right. Let's see here.
He's not that short.
No, he's not 4'8". I would say that DJ Ashba is around, 5'6".
Yeah.
All right. Not everybody is Tommy Lee. All right. I think we answered everybody's possible. Well, Christopher says you can sing one like an AI can create what it thinks the vocals for the entire song should be. There are apps out there that common person can do. I do think there's something. I don't know exactly what, but I do think there is something. I think there was some help. And like I said, I don't think those guys went into a studio together. I would say that either Bob Rock played the bass, it's programmed bass, or John Five played the bass. John Five might have played the drums for all we know. But
yeah,
I think he's good for them in the sense that John Five knows what he's doing, and he's going to keep them. He's going to keep them.
I just don't know how you could feel good as a creator of music doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like, well, here, let's weird science it. Let's put it in the computer and create it. That just seems odd to me that anyone would want to, even if it worked. You know what I mean? Like, I just would feel like I stole something that wasn't mine.
Yeah, no,
That's me. I mean, the only thing that I use online when I'm writing a song, there's a website called Rhyme Zone.
Yeah,
and you can type a word in, and it'll give you a billion different ideas of words that rhyme. And I have used that. I still use it to this day. And
I've used it too. Yeah, I've used the rhyming dictionary to write songs. Yeah,
but to think that there's a way to go, hey, I've got this line, complete the rest of it. That's insane that we're at that level in technology. And yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not into it. I still have a soul, and I have ideas. I'm not ready to go to that route yet.
Kelly LeBrock is AI generated.
Well,
and the music.
I stand corrected.
And the music of Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I feel like we talked about everything in just under 2 hours. Official Wednesday 13 is .com. I don't think you have to say that anymore, but maybe you do. www. Go over there and get some Wednesday merchandise. See when he's playing, and then there's new content coming. Wednesday and I are going to go to Texas.
Yeah.
And I want to do these sort of get-togethers. I just have to figure out how to do it.
Well, I think we're going to try to come to Vegas sooner than later, like we were talking about.
Yes.
So we'll do that, and then let me know about the Texas thing. And yeah, we'll figure out a way to do all this stuff. Like I said, I'm going to try to start recording probably mid-July, and we're going to be going out on tour around August 20th. We're still waiting. Everyone keeps asking when we're announcing those dates. I'm literally waiting for the agent to confirm everything. And like I said, it's going to be a support tour for us, so I can't. It's kind of out of my hands so I have to wait till they're ready to announce it. So.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. We just announced that Steven will be on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I've known about it for a year.
Yeah.
But you have to sit and let them make the announcements at their Pace. All right. Some people saying great show. That's nice of you, Georgia. And yeah, check out some performances of Wednesday at Sick New World. I'll put out some more of my clips. And you got good things ahead. You got a lot of tour dates. There's shows that Wednesday can't tell you about just yet, but he's going to be busy. And then you're also going to see, you're going to hear new music, not
Yeah.
AI generated in any way.
Not at all. I got some good stuff. I'm excited to record, and I've got some interesting ideas for it. It's going to be a fun rock record. I'm not a lot of people have been like, oh, I hope you go back to your more, rock punk sound or whatever. I don't think people will be disappointed where the music's going. It'll still be new, but I think everybody's going to like it, and most importantly, I like it.
Yes. Well, to thine own self be true. You have to
And
like it first, and then you hope other people like it. I don't think they'll be disappointed. If someone asks, I don't think he's going to spill it here, but do you have a name of an album already?
I don't. I just write a bunch of stuff down and stuff that makes me laugh. I wrote down the other day. I woke up. I wrote down morning sickness. And I went, oh, that's a good title.
But you spell it with a U, right? Like
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Like I've got morning sickness because I'm so obsessed with dead people. It
Mhm.
makes me sick with happiness.
Yes. Well, so we'll figure that out. You'll see Wednesday again soon, and then I will be. I leave Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be in Virginia, somewhere in Virginia. Friday, I'll be in Virginia Beach. Our hotel is right on the beach. Michelle handled that. And then Saturday, I'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. Well, Columbia, Maryland. When we were booking the hotel rooms, she said, "You better be careful. You get the right Columbia. Otherwise, I'd be staying at the Pablo Escobar Hilton." But
Oh,
so for the M3 festival, so if any of you are there, come say hello. I'm going to hang out and chat with anybody who would like to chat. I'm in it for the long haul. So let's all see each other. Before we go, this is Trev29, member for 2 months. Thank you for that. Great meeting you in Dallas at the Stephen Meet and Greet. Thank you. It was great to meet you. Everyone was very cool. Thanks for a great show and memories. Awesome. Well, I hope we get to do it some more. And if anyone missed this, you can just tune in and then watch it. A Rat and Wednesday tour would be awesome. I would be a fan. Where'd it go? There it is. This is Mike's idea.
Rat and Win. They have to get back together first.
Well, it could
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to make that announcement right here, but
Well, let's do it. I'm ready. I was thinking we should cover a Rat song on my. I'm making a list of cover songs, and I don't know. My Rat keeps popping up, and I'm like, should we recorded the Wasp song? I'm
mhm.
thinking about doing a couple of '80s songs. I want to do a Twisted Sister. I was thinking about Rat. Those are on my list. Maybe you can get Steven to come sing on it. We'll do a
I
new
think he would.
version.
He would love it. Yeah, I think he'd be great.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think we could, I think we could nail us. I think we could lay it down.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're not on the road for a minute, like the day before we have to leave, suddenly Steven's like he's motivated, he's into it again. And so this
Right.
morning he's like, "We need a tour bus. We leave, we leave in 36 hours." And I'm like, "Holy shit! Where am I going to find a tour bus?" We didn't really need it, but if he wants it, I make an effort. But anyway, we're excited to get back out, and I'm excited to see you guys again soon. We'll do another show. Like, comment, subscribe. Official Wednesday13.com. You can check my links out in the description. We'll talk to you again. Thank you.